You know that feeling, right? When you're just stuck, agonizing over some huge life decision. Maybe it's a career change, a big move, a major investment. You just keep weighing the pros and cons for hours, maybe even days, absolutely terrified of making the wrong choice and having to live with that regret.
Yeah, it's that feeling we all know too well, that complete paralysis when a choice could change everything. But what if I told you there's a way to break free from this cycle? There's this mental framework, it's actually used by professional poker champions that can help you make way more confident choices, even when you have no idea how things will turn out.
Okay, so to get there, we've got to first talk about the biggest mental trap we all fall into when we look back at our past decisions. It's super simple, but man, is it a destructive way of thinking.
So, in the poker world, they have a name for this. It's called resulting. And trust me, we do this all the time. If a choice leads to a good result, we go, that was a great decision. If it leads to a bad one, we label it a terrible one. The problem is, this logic is just wrong. It's completely flawed.
And this really gets at a critical point we miss all the time, the separation between our decision-making process and the final outcome. We love to mash them together, but they're two totally different things. The truth? Luck plays a massive role. You can make the absolute best choice with the info you have, and things can still go south. And of course, the opposite is true too.
So why are we so prone to this resulting trap? Well, it's because our brains, they're kind of hardwired with these biases that are all about protecting our ego, not really about finding the objective truth. All right, first up, hindsight bias. And oh man, you know this one. After something happens, the outcome suddenly seems completely obvious, totally predictable. It makes us completely forget how foggy and uncertain things felt in that moment when the decision was actually being made.
This is the classic, right? After a stock tax, suddenly everyone's a genius who saw it coming. But really, did they? Hindsight bias just makes us way too confident in our own crystal ball, and we end up being super harsh on our past selves for not knowing what was literally unknowable at the time.
And that leads us right into the next one, which is maybe even more powerful, the self-serving bias. Think of it like your brain's personal PR manager, working around the clock to spin everything in your favor. So check out how this plays out. When things go great, when we succeed, it's all about our brilliant skill and insight, right? We take all the credit. But when we fail, the story totally flips. All of a sudden, it was outside forces, the economy, bad timing, just plain old bad luck. It protects our ego, for sure, but it stops us from seeing the real flaws in our own process.
And here's the real kicker. These biases stop us from learning. If we never honestly look at our decision-making process, especially when we fail, how are we ever supposed to get better? We don't. We just get stuck, blaming the world instead of upgrading our own thinking.
So how do we override this faulty programming? We need a pretty radical shift in how we look at decisions. We got to stop hunting for certainty and start thinking in probabilities. We need to start thinking in bets.
And honestly, this one simple question is the key to the whole thing. The next time you say something like, it's a fact, just ask yourself, want to bet? It immediately makes you ditch that black and white thinking and really face how confident you are. For real. Are you 100% sure? 70%? 50-50? That's where the real honesty starts.
And that right there is the core of this whole mental model. Every single choice you make about your job, your relationships, your money, it's not about finding the one right answer. It's a bet, a calculated bet on what the future might look like based on the incomplete info you've got right now.
And you know what? That's totally okay. When you embrace this, you're accepting that uncertainty is just part of the deal. Luck, chance, randomness, they aren't just little things on the side. They are baked into the system, just like in a game of poker. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually apply it? So let's take this big idea and turn it into a simple, practical tool you can start using like today to make better, less agonizing decisions.
Okay, here's the playbook. First, when you're facing that choice, you gotta ask yourself and put a number on it. How confident am I from 0 to 100%? This forces you to get real with yourself. Then, and this is huge, you write down what you actually know for a fact versus what you're just guessing at. This simple step is so powerful. It just creates instant clarity and shows you where your whole argument might be built on thin ice.
So let's imagine you do this. You go through the process and you land on, say, 80% confidence about making a career change. That number, that 80%, that's your bet. You're not saying it's a guaranteed win, no way. You're acknowledging there's a 20% risk, but you're placing your bet confidently because you know you followed a solid process to get there.
So what happens if you make the move and it doesn't work out? I mean, what happens if that 20% chance actually hits? It doesn't mean you made a bad decision. It means you ran into what poker players call bad variance. You played the hand right, the odds were in your favor, but the cards just didn't fall your way this time. And that's a world of difference.
And this is the real payoff of thinking this way. When you learn to judge yourself on the quality of your decision-making process, not the randomness of the outcome, the fear of regret just starts to fade. You can make a choice, accept what happens, learn from it, and then get ready to place your next bet. You're free. You're no longer paralyzed by the past.
So, I'll leave you with this question. What's one decision you'll place a calculated bet on today? Think about it. That one thing you've been stuck on, hunting for that perfect answer. What if you just stopped? Stopped searching for certainty and instead just made your best, most well-reasoned bet?